Hello and welcome to COVID Conversations here on WNCU 90.7 FM. I'm your host, Kimberley Pierce Cartwright, and we're streaming on YouTube, on Facebook, and Instagram. I'm the News and Public Affairs Director here at WNCU, and we're using the Zoom platform to talk about how COVID-19 is affecting our world. The guest today is Angela Lee. She is the Executive Director of the Haitai Heritage Center in Durham, North Carolina. We know the center as a light for social change. It's a place for the arts and it's a community hub promoting diverse cultures. And it also provides a place for enlightenment and for enrichment. And we definitely want to know how Haiti is faring during COVID-19. Angela Lee, hello and welcome.
Good morning, Kimberly. It's so nice to see you and to be with you this morning. I appreciate the invitation to join you and talk about Haiti. It's a subject that I'm always more than happy to discuss. It's near and dear to my heart. First of all, we are, all things considered, in the midst of a pandemic and all the other challenges that the arts are facing, Haiti is doing fairly well.
Okay, let's do like a deeper dive into that. First of all, talk to me about Haitai Heritage Center. How did it get started and become such a stalwart in our local community?
Well, I'll give a little bit of context to lead up to the direct question. This year, this is the 130th year of the history of Haiti, I would say. The venue that we occupy currently was opened as a church, St. Joseph's African Methodist Episcopal Church in 1891, and served the community, the Haiti community, Durham's Black community for a number of years. And with urban renewal, when there was massive decimation of homes and businesses, the venue, the Haitai Heritage Center, was spared. And I think that it was a combination of God and the vision of people in the community who did not want to see this beautiful building destroyed. So in 1975, the Haiti Heritage Center opened, but it was the result of vision. I'll say it took vision, because who would have thought from a church to all of the fallout from the so-called urban renewal program and the installation of Highway 147, who would have thought that leaders would envision a cultural arts center that would occupy that space and continue to serve the community. So in 1975, under the management of what was established as St. Joseph's Historic Foundation, the 501c3 umbrella, Haiti opened, and it was opened with the express purpose of not just preserving the culture and the heritage of historic Haiti, but also to advance and promote the arts through visual, performing, and arts education programs. And we've been doing that since opening in 1975.
That is just always amazes me about the history of Haiti in this community. From then until now, what kinds of activities go on right now at Haiti? If you were fully up and operational, what would Haiti look like on a day like today?
Well, if we were fully operational, we would not only be offering our core programs, Haiti anchor programs, but we would be robust with rental programs, because we do offer facility rentals year round in a normal environment. Since March of 2020, because of COVID, we've had to shut down and have only resumed some in-person programs, but we shifted immediately to virtual programs. As the weather warmed up, we offered drive-in movies, and we've done several outdoor programs, including, for example, our poetry slam spoken word team, Jambalaya Soul. They resumed performing outdoors. They have moved indoors now. Um, but in a perfect world where there was no pandemic to shut us down, we would be open 7 days a week with programs, whether it's a Hayti anchor program such as Jambalaya Soul, whether it's the African dance class, whether it's our artist exhibitions, uh, even our film festival in 2021 was virtual. It was beautiful, but it was virtual for the first time in 27 years. So um, definitely, we have been impacted by the pandemic, but it has not stopped us from continuing to engage our patrons, our community, and we're really thankful for that.
So talk to me about your responsibility at Hayti. What is it that you do during the course of the day?
As executive director, it is my responsibility to ensure basically that everything runs, everything operates, everything flows. I spend a great deal of my time, particularly since March of 2020, I spend a great deal of my time pursuing grant funding because with without being able to provide facility rentals, we have lost a considerable amount of our earned income that we would generate from ticket sales, from concessions, from vendors, from sponsorships, et cetera. So in order to minimize the impact of that loss and to continue to be able to move forward, we have pursued a lot of grant funding. And thankfully, we have been able to secure a lot of that funding. So some of the COVID relief programs like PPP, SVOG, but also other funding. So um, I think it says a lot that we have been able to uh, pursue and secure a lot of grant funding. But you know what? We've also seen an increase in the number of our individual donors, and that has been huge because um, we know that those grant funds are not going to last forever. PPP is not going to be around forever. SVOG, um, but our individual support shows a real staunch commitment to Hayti and to the work that we do. So we really value that individual donor support, and so thankful that folks have responded favorably to our virtual, to our hybrid programs, and that they've been contributing. And we appreciate that continued support and that trust in us to be good stewards of Hayti.
So that was one of my questions, like how was your agency affected financially? So you're getting grants and you're depending on individual support. Anything else that you would like to share about maybe how you're faring today and maybe what it is that you need?
Well, um, today, so let me share some of the highlights, because through all of the negative impact of COVID, there have been some positives for Hayti. We had been fortunate to receive a large funding from the Andrew Mellon Foundation pre-COVID, and it provided support not just with consulting, but also with some facility upgrades and other support. So we were on strong footing financially when COVID shut us down. During the pandemic, we've taken the opportunity to try to take care of some of those projects. So some of the things that we've been able to do despite the pandemic, we now have a wholly new HVAC system. That's something that we needed desperately, and we now have. We were able to start some roof replacement. We've got a 34,000 plus square foot facility, and some of the roofing issues for a building as old as ours is, needed to be done. So we've been in the process of eventually completely replacing our roofing. We recently had a full external pressure washing done, and the building on the outside looks beautiful. With support from Trees Durham, we completed our landscaping project. We have upgraded our audio visual equipment, largely in part to grant funding. We have, excuse me, We have brought on 3 new part-time staff members in the last few months, and these are positions that have been sorely needed. And because of that increased capacity, we've been able to expand our programming. So later this month, we're launching our Hayti Lit Book Club, for example. So those are some of the things that we have been able to engage in during the pandemic while still offering programs. So the Black the BAM series, the Black American Music series, we have been able to feature live performers, local artists from Charlotte to Raleigh and Durham, to perform in honor of icons, Stevie Wonder. This we're featuring the music of Shaka Khan. It's been a really good series that we have been able to present, and also it allows us to continue to support artists. With support and with partnership with Be Connected, a local nonprofit, Hayti was the launch site and is the main site for Third Fridays along the Fayetteville Street corridor. So we launched that a few months ago, and Angel Dozier has been a great partner in that. And as part of the Third Friday events that are at Hayti, we've we've spotlighted individual artists, local artists who've been able to give talks about their work and sell their work. So we've also launched the Next Level Film Series. Lana Garland curates our film festival, but we didn't want to just have a film festival and then nothing. So we launched the Next Level Film Series. We've done drive-ins, but we have also been featuring virtual and in-programming access. And the last film we did, the film Ailey, we featured it at Provident 1898 down on the old Mutual building. So we've been branching out, we've been doing things, we've been keeping ourselves busy, we've been keeping the patrons that support Hayti engaged. We've teamed up with Pauli Murray Center to present the Pauli Murray film. You know, we've just been doing wonderful work, but it's been because our team, you know, our team has really been committed to continuing moving forward, not wallowing in what we don't have and what we can't do. So we're not fully closed in that sense, Kimberly, but we're not by any means fully reopened. So we're continuing to have work. We got some grant funds to renovate elements of our historic performance hall. So we are going to be restoring some of our beautiful stained glass windows, some of which have begun to buckle because of weather. And we are also restoring some of our pews that have gotten loosened over time, as well as some of the woodwork and trim. So lots going on at Hayti. And, you know, those aren't things necessarily that the public will see, but they'll see when they return to Hayti. And we're confident. We don't, you know, no one knows where this is all going with the virus, but, you know, we remain ever confident because the arts are healing. The arts are a safe space. The arts are a thing of beauty, you know, and it gives us confidence and the belief that, you know, by the end of this year, you know, folks will be back in Hayti celebrating life and celebrating the arts and doing all sorts of good things. That's just the way we feel about it.
Amazing. It sounds like the future of Haitai Heritage Center is in good hands with you and your team.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think we have a good team. We have a you know, leadership from the executive level, the board level. You know, I think Hayti is in a good place, notwithstanding the impact of this virus. And to be able to do all that we're doing after sustaining, I think we've lost about 62% of our earned income since COVID. And to still be able to do the things we're doing, I think it's pretty impressive.
It is very impressive. Angela Lee is the Executive Director at Haitai Heritage Center. Thank you so much, Angela, for spending some time with us today.
Thank you, Kimberly.
You're welcome. And thank you, audience, for watching via YouTube. Thanks for being on Facebook with us and Instagram, as well as listening to WNCU 90.7 FM. We want you to like us. We want you to follow us and to subscribe to our pages to see more of our archived shows. I'm Kimberly Pierce Cartwright. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Take care.